Hey guys, so now we're doing part two of Heaven Can Wait meets Somewhere in Time. In this second segment, I think three total, we're going to focus on Heaven Can Wait. Obviously, still talking about, um, how there's certain similarities to Somewhere in Time, but then the third episode, we'll just wrap it up with Somewhere in Time and tie it all up. Just starting with Heaven Can Wait, it kind of follows along the lines of a lot of things I was talking about in my kind of video essays on White Palace and the Death of Hollywood, and Mark Rosenberg specifically, how Hollywood used to consistently turn out this kind of mid-level, mid-range budgeted film that was of a certain quality. I mean, good quality films, that were still made for, a reasonable budget, that have disappeared. Heaven Can Wait is a prime example. The first thing that you notice right out of the gate is performance. Performance, performance. And I'm not talking about the leads, right? I'm not talking about, in this case, Warren Beatty. Great actor, very very smooth, man. He just makes things look effortless. And he's, even when you look at him in like Splendor in the Grass, I mean, this guy, man, he's got serious chops. But it's Jack Warden. That opening scene, okay? And it's funny. A friend of mine when I was a little kid, right, when this film came out and I was a kid, a buddy of mine saw it and he was just raving about it. It was a football film, right? It's a football film. Okay, there's some boring love story stuff, but it's a football film. Joe, you're gonna love this, man. It's a great football scenes. That's all he cared about. So to me, it was always a football film, right? Which is how it's established. Joe Pendleton, he's gonna start at quarterback, and there's an unfortunate incident, right? And Buck Henry, the angel, takes him out too soon, and now we have, a problem. He has to find another body, and so on and so forth. What sets the tone for the film right off the bat is the relationship between the assistant coach and Joe Pendleton, right? He's an old veteran. This is his last go around. He's in his 30s. He's had a knee injury. And Jack Warden is this like assistant coach who's, in his corner and all that. And it's his birthday. And they have unbelievable chemistry. And obviously they worked together before in Shampoo. And Jack Warden is a brilliant character actor. He's been in a million great films. But that's what's missing from today. You do not see a lot of. You'll see an aging star, like I'm getting ready to talk about James Mason. You'll see that kind of guy, but not as many of these great character actors as there were. And Jack Warden is a prime example. I mean, this guy, he's amazing. I mean, he's simply amazing. He's just effortless in his chemistry with Warren Beatty. It's brilliant, and it's brilliant throughout the picture. And he's really probably should be really third billing behind Julie Christie. It's Warren Beatty, Julie Christie, and it's Jack Warden, really. But as well, you have Buck Henry, and then to kind of sell what it does is it sells this idea that there is life after death, and that it's not the final thing. They're trying to find him a new body, right? Because they fucked up. Just watch the film. I don't want to explain the whole fucking plot. This film's 40 years old, okay? And that's another thing, man. People just don't watch movies anymore. I mean, these films that were made before you were born, a lot of them are brilliant, and you should check them out. And this is one of them, okay? James Mason. I mean, he's unbelievable. He's like he's not the head guy in heaven, but he's like some executive guy in heaven who has to come because this is not straightened out, because Joe Pendleton is saying, it's not my time. It's not my time. And by the way, in a more modern film, I think they lift that a little bit in Interstellar. Nolan's Interstellar, the way that Anne Hathaway keeps insisting that this is wrong, we are going to the wrong planet, and so on and so forth. And Mason makes the quip that when someone is that insistent that there's that many people trying to prove them wrong, they're usually, correct. And of course, Joe Pendleton's right, and they made a mistake. But Mason is the guy that sells the veracity. He gives it the credibility. He suspends your disbelief just because of his gravitas as an actor and the way he's just able to deliver these concepts. Again, I use that term effortless, because that's what these guys are so good. You don't see that level of acting in modern filmmaking on, we're talking, yes, maybe the leads, but the third, fourth, fifth, sixth banana. We're not even talking about Charles Grodin yet. We're not even talking about Diane Cannon or, some of these ones, Vincent Garcia. I mean, who's kind of comic relief. There are elements of, the film that are, a bit much. But on balance, I think it's brilliant in how performance comes in, so powerfully in these sequences. And when we get to the end, when it's, he takes over the body of this Farnsworth, and it's Joe, you put a good soul into the body of this evil creature, billionaire guy, right? And he's transforming him, and he's developing this relationship with Miss, what was it, Havish? No, she's from Hailsham, I forget her name, whatever. It's Julie Christie, okay. And he's forming this relationship, and he doesn't want to leave this body, and now he has to leave the body, and he's going into the quarterbacks. But it's just fucking unbelievable, just the way they set up. The script is really well done, by, I don't know if Town Ghost I'm sure he probably did some work on it, but I think it's Buck Henry and Warren Beatty, I believe. It's based on a pre-existing thing. Here Comes Mr. Jordan, I believe. I'll put that in the lower captions. But the ending is so powerful. He sets it up. His character sets it up. Listen, and he knows that he's still haggling and negotiating, that he wants to stay in this body. They found him, but he can't. And then he just finally says to her, if there's a guy, he might even be a quarterback, right? It just sets up that scene. Obviously, he's killed. His soul gets out of Farnsworth's body and goes into Tom Jarrett, the quarterback, at the end of the film. Now, when they finally, meet at the end of the picture, in the hallway and all that scene, I mean, it is as deep and as resonant and as powerful scenes as I've seen of, this kind of, whatever you want to call it, this timelessness of love, or they're transforming the physical world, it is. They present it in a way where it's not cheesy, and you're not, it's not too convoluted. Oh, what is all this? And yet you're very touched emotionally. At least I was. And so I felt that, there was a tremendous underlying power in the film. And again, it is, as I said in the intro, and this is the same kind of concept of Somewhere in Time, which we'll talk about in 3, how those, and again, character actors again come in so crucial in Somewhere in Time. Well, I'm going to put that into the next one. So this is episode 2. Episode 3, we're going to talk more specifically about Somewhere in